There is fire on the mountain. Run, run, run. Why are Africans angry that Black Americans said that they should not celebrate Black History Month? Why are they angry? Don't you have what you're celebrating in your country? Because in my country, I know every 1st October, we celebrate our freedom. We celebrate the fact that, oh, this was the day we actually got free from the white men. This was our freedom day. This was the day we said no to this. So, the same way, Black Americans have their Black History Month. And of which they are not saying you should not join them and clap. They are only saying it is not for the world. It is not for everybody that tag themselves black, because that is where a lot of people are getting it wrong. It is not for every single person that tag themselves black. It is specifically for Black Americans because this is their own history month. Why am I getting a lot of confusion in the comment section where I see Africans trying to say, oh, we want to celebrate Black American History Month? They say we should not celebrate. I thought it's for all Black people. It is not for all Black people. It is specifically for Black Americans. Those are days I feel they're kept separately for remembering of every single pains, everything they've gone through. I don't know, maybe I'm not making sense. But let's roll out the clip so that you guys can see where I'm coming from. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please do what? Subscribe. Like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share. And for disclaimers, this is just for educational purposes only. Nothing but that. With that being said, let's dive right into this video, and I'll be back with commentaries.
Africans and Caribbeans getting upset because they're not included in Black History Month is something that I would never understand. Ultimately, Black History Month is not just about the color of your skin. Black History Month isn't about being Black globally. It's specifically about Black Americans and their history in America. That's not being disrespectful. That's not disrespect. Honestly, that's definition.
It's been informed that because I am not a Black American, well, I am a Black American,
No,
but because
you're
I'm
not.
African, I was born on the continent of
You're African.
Africa, and I don't
Whatever
have
country.
any parents and heritage that is born here on this continent. I'm not allowed to celebrate Black History Month. It has come to my attention that Black History Month is only for African Americans who are generationally American, not those of us who came from the motherland to America. I don't know if you guys were aware, but if I told you happy Black History Month this month, if I said anything about Black History Month to you today, I take it back.
Girl,
I
bye.
still take it back. I was not trying to offend the diaspora warriors. I would like to go back to my quiet corner of the internet. Thank you.
Bye. First of all, one person, because I looked through her comment section, one person told her, you're not ethnically Black, so you don't celebrate Black History Month. One out of almost probably and over 50 million people. And now all of a sudden she's sitting up here making this video. Like, girl, shut up. Y'all want to be like the center of attention so bad. Nobody cares. If one person says something to me, if I was not getting constant comments, similar comments, if I was not seeing a multitude of videos, a bunch of videos, I wouldn't be saying half the stuff I say. If it was just one person, I would be like, No, as a collective, y'all be really popping it bad. Telling us we don't have no history, saying we don't have no culture, saying everything that we've done is attributed to you because somewhere 1,000 years ago, we may have some African ancestry, and it gets to a point. Now, I don't know who, I don't know, besides that one person she said that to her, I don't really see us saying, don't celebrate Black History Month, but what I do see is Africans saying, well, we need to celebrate Africans during Black History Month. And that is what I see, some Black Americans having some pushback. No, we're not going to celebrate Africans in Black History Month because this is Black American History Month. We're in America. It's the same as y'all going to the HBCUs and doing African takeover days and Caribbean takeover days. It's why do y'all have to take over the things that we already have? Create your own. If you want to create an African History Month, Go for it. Now, I don't need y'all saying, well, what country and this country, and I don't know what country she came from. Y'all get to generalize African and call yourselves African and say y'all from the continent when it's convenient. And when we do it, it's World War III. She called herself African. I cannot specifically name whatever country she comes from because she did not say it. But the fact that this is even a thing is crazy to me. Why do we have to share everything? You can celebrate it as long as you're celebrating Black American historical leaders, Black American icons, Black American legends, the accomplishments of Black Americans here in the United States of America. But if you want to come over here talking about y'all created R&B and y'all have soul food too, and jambalaya and jollof is the same thing, and how the banjo, the drums originated in Africa, so y'all created hip hop. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. It's when y'all get to doing stuff like that is when we be like, all right, enough is enough. Enough is enough. If you want to get up here and start celebrating Nelson Mandela in February, we ain't got the time for that. But if you want to say Happy Black History Month, nobody's stopping you. Y'all just keep trying to colonize things, co-opt and steal things, and make things about you and center yourself. That is where the issue comes. Like the whole immigrants build the United States of America. Like y'all be on that type of time. But stop this. Like it's not that serious. Nobody's saying. But I mean, like, just Africans should not be celebrated during Black American History Month. That's it. And y'all get offended for whatever reason. I don't know why. But what y'all think about this? Spread love, Mr. Brooklyn.
January 31st of 2024 marked the 159th anniversary of Congress passing the 13th Amendment, the document with the purpose of ending slavery in the United States. What an interesting and wonderful way to lead us into February, which later became Black History Month. Unfortunately, abolition of slavery did not happen in totality. The 13th Amendment, in fact, did not end slavery. It simply changed its form and the way in which it operated. On February 1st in 1865, Abraham Lincoln approved the joint resolution of Congress submitting the proposed amendment to the state legislators. The necessary number of states, 3/4, ratified it by December 6th, 1865. It took almost the entire year for the 13th Amendment to be ratified. And the 13th Amendment states that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. You see, the 13th Amendment was passed at the end of the Civil War, a time when Southern states' economy, society, and government were in shambles. Now there was no more free labor. But you see, that's not entirely true, because the 13th Amendment only ended chattel slavery, slavery in which an individual is considered the personal property of another, the slavery in which is generational, the slavery in which you enter into by birth based on your race, the slavery in which you have no rights as a human being. You belong to someone else. That's the only slavery that ended. But it made way and made exception for another type of slavery to take precedent. This is what we call convict leasing. You see, because so many prisons had been destroyed during the war, and previously African American slaves had been subjected to the punishments at the hands of their owners, but now neither one of those options was viable. Now they were faced with the problem in the South of what they were going to do to fill the new prisons and how they were going to find cheap labor to save their once prospering slave labor dependent economy. You see, after the Civil War ended in 1865, some states passed black codes that severely limited the rights of black people, many of whom had formerly been enslaved. These codes limited what jobs African Americans could hold and their ability to leave a job once hired. Some states also restricted the kind of property that black people could own. And in 1866, a year after the amendment was ratified, states like Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, Mississippi, Florida, Tennessee, and South Carolina began leasing convicts. see, they began to realize in these states that they could lease out their convicts to local partners and industrialists who would pay minimal rates for the workers and be responsible for their housing and feeding, thereby eliminating cost and increasing revenue. Soon, markets for convict laborers developed, with entrepreneurs buying and selling convict labor leases. You see, unlike slavery, employers had only a small capital investment in convict laborers and little incentive to treat them well. Convict laborers were often dismally treated, but the convict lease system was highly profitable for the states and the employers. You see, with the implementation of black codes, this made sure that convict leasing stayed a lucrative business and that they could still keep their slaves, so to speak. Through the enforcement of these laws and the imprisonment of black people, formerly enslaved African American people. Once arrested, these men, women, and children would be released to plantations, or they would be leased to work railroads or work for coal mining companies. The owners of these businesses would pay the state for these formerly enslaved black people, newly arrested and convicted, giving them cheap prison labor, slave labor, legally, and within the confines of the 13th Amendment. It's believed that after the passing of the 13th Amendment, more than 800,000 black people were subjected to the system of re-enslavement through the prison system. And did you know that the National Registry of Exonerations shows that more than half of the 3,300 people who were exonerated between 1989 and 2022 were black people? Despite the fact that black people account for just 13.6% of the U.S. population, the 13th Amendment did in fact end chattel, generational, born into slavery, while simultaneously allowing for the existence of slavery to continue in a different form under a new system. If we're going to talk about history, let's talk about real history, true history, and let's be honest and tell the whole truth and the whole story within context of how it happened. And remember that Black history is American history.
I have since been informed that because I am not a Black American, well, I am a Black American, but because I'm African, I was born on the continent of Africa.
This is not a personal attack towards you, right? However, this is for all Africans, it's for Caribbeans, it's for Afro-Latinos. I hear some of you guys call yourself African American. I hear some of you call yourself Black American. Those terms are synonymous, right? Now, if you guys call yourself African American and Black American, what do you call the black people that have a 400 plus year lineage tied to the United States of America? They're called African American or Black American, which gets us to the point of you can't be Black American or African American.
And I don't have any parents and heritage that is born here on this continent. I'm not allowed to celebrate Black History Month. It has come to my attention that Black History Month is only for African Americans who are generationally American, not those of us who came from the motherland to America. I don't know if you guys were aware, but if I told you Happy Black History Month this month, if I said anything about Black History Month to you today, I take it back. I so take it back. I was not trying to offend the diaspora warriors. I would like to go back to my quiet corner of the internet. Thank you very much.
So it's not that you can't partake in celebrating Black American history or Black History Month, but the person that spoke to you is correct. It was created over 100 years ago with Black Americans in mind, being that no one else within the Black diaspora was really in the United States. And this is for all my Black American brothers and sisters. Do not allow anyone to call you divisive because you are letting them know that Black History Month was created with Black Americans in mind and no one else.
Africans literally fought colonial powers, started independence movements across the continent, and inspired freedom struggles worldwide. That history connects directly to the global Black experience. Saying we shouldn't celebrate Black History Month ignores a huge part of where it all started. And this doesn't even apply to just Africans, even Afro-Latinos, Black Caribbeans, etc. Respectfully, there is no global Black experience. Sure, there's shared experiences between us, but there's no global Black experience. And honestly, this obsession with erasing the Black American ethnic group is crazy to me. From chattel slavery to being raped to being eaten to having our skin turned into leather shoes, having games that revolved around capturing and killing us, having family gatherings being named after literally picking one of us and lynching us. And while doing all this, sometimes they would paint their faces black, hop on stage and act a fool and clown our intelligence. Say that we're savages and less than human, after the savage acts they would commit. Or how about building a country and then not even being citizens of said country? And then after becoming citizens of said country, having to fight for civil rights for generations. Segregation, Jim Crow, while being lynched the whole time. Then they gave us the shittiest neighborhoods with the least opportunity, and then would bomb them when we'd actually turn them into something. And then after they had systemically robbed us of every opportunity to create any type of wealth, they dropped guns and drugs in our neighborhoods. Can't forget the over-policing of Black communities in America, the police brutality in America. Until this day, they're still over-policing us. Cops are allowed to kill us, and the mainstream media portrays us in the worst possible light. And I'm not even going to go over all of the accomplishments made by Black Americans that have been erased from all of our textbooks, or the cultural impact that Black Americans have across the globe specifically. There isn't a single continent on this planet that doesn't have multiple cultures that just straight up copy us at this point. Whether it's our fashion, our music, the way we talk, the way we behave, the way we do our hair. Black American culture is one of the most influential cultures on this planet. We have to turn the TV on, watch people imitate us, and then proceed to say Black Americans have no culture. And at the end of the day, you guys literally have a month. September is recognized as National African Immigrant Heritage Month, or African Diaspora Heritage Month. Why the fuck do you want ours so bad? And if you still want to argue, this is what Black History Month represents. A time to celebrate the achievements of Black Americans. A reminder of the ongoing struggle for freedom, equality, and citizenship. Citizenship in America, stupid. A crucial opportunity to learn about Black history and its impact on American society. Black History Month is for Black Americans. So respectfully, there is no global Black experience.
Black skin, Black pants, Black clothes, Black...
Oh, you can celebrate Black History Month. You just need to realize that you're not celebrating you. Black History Month isn't about celebrating the entire Black diaspora. It is specifically to celebrate Black Americans and their contributions throughout American history. Not about African immigrants that just got here. Not about your African history. Black American history. You know, like America was built on the backs of slaves. Things like Black people starting and being the face of the fight for civil rights for all minorities in this country. Our contributions to the fields of medicine, science, so on and so forth. A time for young Black Americans to learn more about their history and connect with heroes and role models that look like them. Because as it stands right now, all of the heroes we learn about in school would have lynched us for talking too much. It should also be a time to discuss the injustices that us and our ancestors had to go through the past 200 plus years in this country. A time to honor the victims of said injustices. Injustices that you weren't here for. So like, yeah, we're all Black, but not all of us have contributed to Black history in America, which is extremely important and often overlooked in this country.
I really need more people to understand that Black History Month is literally Black American History Month. Like, it's literally called African American History. This month is not for the whole entire Black diaspora. Black Americans have been gracious, a lot of them, right, have been gracious enough to allow us to be included in it. But this month is specifically for Black American history. And I need more people to realize that and respect that. It's very unfortunate that Black Americans have to constantly share their culture and their history, while also at the same time being ignored, disrespected by the same people who use and appropriate the crap out of their culture and their history. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, when I saw Shabuzi's speech, I was so taken aback for him to have said that America was built by whatever immigrants. No, it was built by Black Americans, period. Black Americans are the only demographic non-native to this land, because I know indigenous people are not immigrants, but aside from Native Americans, Black Americans are the only demographic here in this country that are not considered immigrants. In order for you to qualify as an immigrant, there needs to be the factor of intention within your move. When you migrate, the word migrate, there needs to be intention, whether it's school, work, whatever, whatever the case may be, there's intention behind your move. Black Americans did not migrate here. Like, words mean things. Black Americans were slaves. They were enslaved Black folks. They were not immigrants. So the only people who have built this country were Black Americans. Immigrants contributed to it. Of course, we contributed to the structure of it, but this country foundationally, structurally, systematically was built on the backs, quite literally, of Black Americans. This is so far down. Anyways, not only did you win a Grammy in a category created by Black Americans, you went to the Grammys wearing grills. Intervention by Black Americans. And before anyone comes on here talking about, oh, well, different cultures have da-da-da, I understand that, but grills, specifically, grills, that's a Black American invention, and I don't want to hear it. Then he doubles down even more with his tweet, the photo of him holding his award, smiling with his grills, crazy. And then has the audacity to post that letter, which again only mentions immigrants. Nowhere in his tweet, and nowhere in his letter, and nowhere in his speech that he recognized Black Americans. And then for him to reference Black History Month in his speech, a month-long celebration for who exactly? Black Americans. Black American Month, Black American grills, Black American category. It's just like, what are we really talking about? And I say this as an immigrant myself, Black Americans do not owe the world anything. And this is not a safe space to open up dialogue if you're going to be anti-Black towards any person diaspora. This is not an African versus but this is none of that. I am an African immigrant, and I'm saying this just to say this, like, Black Americans do not owe anyone anything. I think it's just very disgusting that Black American culture is just so greatly and grossly used, sometimes misused at that, by the world, yet at the same time are being told that by that same group of people, that same demographic, that they don't have culture, that they don't have history, they don't have XYZ. The world loves saying that, oh, the people like to profit off Black culture. No, people like to profit off Black American culture specifically. It's not African culture. It's not Caribbean culture. It's not Afro-Latino culture. It's specifically Black American culture that the world likes to take advantage of. Ebonics, African American vernacular. Look at the way a lot of these, even some Afrobeat artists, like Rema, that music video that he had with Ida Star, look at the way they were dressed. Even Thames, I love Thames, but she even has a music video where she's literally wearing the baggy hoodie with the, like, this is Black American culture. Look at the way some K-pop people be dressed, down to their hair, down to the way they do jewelry and the way they're styled. Black American culture. So I say it's all to say, please guys, like, this is a Black American History Month. Please act accordingly or shut the fuck up.
Or at least something to rant about. A lot of people ascribe.
So I have nothing against this creator at all. She wanted to discuss Black History Month, and so I'm discussing. First, Black History Month is not a competition. The caption she placed on her video, putting Brits to shame. Black History Month was created by African Americans without any competition involved. We never threw shade or anything at anybody else around the world. It was for African Americans when it started. It started off as a week, and then we got the full month. So she went on to emphasize that many people ascribe Black History Month to February because that's the Black History Month in the United States of America. Well, it's ascribed that way because it's actually who it belongs to. It would belong to African Americans first, and then it went to everywhere else on the globe. And again, there was no problem with that. But that's why when people think about Black History Month up front, they think about African Americans and in the United States of America, because that was the Black History Month. That is the Black History Month. That's where it started. And then she goes on to say that Black culture seems to default to Black American culture. Well, that's because Black culture is Black American culture, ethnically and culturally. Those are the two key words, ethnically and culturally. Therefore, when we see Black culture over here in America, that's what we're talking about. So that's the name of our culture, Black culture. That's the name of our culture. African American culture is Black culture, ethnically and culturally. I emphasize that. When you go anywhere else around the globe, Zulu culture is Zulu culture. It's not Black culture. For centuries, it wasn't called Black culture. Igbo culture is Igbo culture. It wasn't called Black culture. You see what I'm saying? In the United States of America, for decades and decades back,
Black culture. I'm black and I'm proud. Sing it loud. HBCUs that were started in the 1800s. Those were African Americans. That's what we meant by black. African Americans started most of those schools. It's a whole African American thing, okay? It's a black thing. You wouldn't understand. And I use that just now for a reason. And then she goes on to talk about how Black European and Black American are distinctly different. And she mentions the way that Black Europeans are first and second generation. And obviously African Americans, Black Americans, we go all the way back 400 years, all the way back to the 1600s. That's how long we've been here. Now, in that, right? In that, there was a full ethnogenesis. In that, things developed that didn't develop anywhere else. And it took centuries. It didn't take one generation. It took centuries. Therefore, the experience of a Black American and a Black European are going to be different. And if Black Europeans choose to celebrate their own version of Black History Month, then it will have to be uniquely their version, or they will not feel it because they can't adopt a Black American perspective, if that makes sense. Black Americans celebrate hard because it's through and through us. It's like we feel it in our bones, all the way down our system. It's who we are. It guides our thoughts. It got perspectives, the way we eat, the way we live, the way we everything, because it's who we are as an ethnic group. An ethnic group. It's the same way, let's say, someone who's Zulu, they may feel something a lot different than I would because I'm not Zulu. So if they had a holiday and I'm like, oh, I want to do that over in America, it wouldn't hit the same way in America. It's not going to hit the same way because the Zulu know exactly what it's all about. They feel it in their bones. They go all the way through their soul because that's who they are through and through. Here's an article I'm going to put up. I'm going to read it real quick. And the reason I'm putting up this article is because people don't understand what assimilation is. Some things have to be learned and understood further in order for it to take hold. And still yet, it may not take hold like it would take hold for a Black American. Because again, it's our celebration originally. So it starts off to Caucasian Americans, liberals, blah, blah, blah. Right? And a Nigerian lady is writing this from her heart. And at the bottom, it says, I was evidently Black. Well, I knew that already. And she's talking about race. Now she's going to get into, on the next pick, she's going to get into ethnicity and culture. Explaining, for African Americans, the term Black was a reclaiming, an exaltation, and a celebration of memories of a shared past. Like the ethnic groups in Africa, Black was an ethnicity of pride. See, with Black Americans, it's not just a race. And this is where a lot of people don't understand because it's not their ethnicity. And so she's going to go on in the next pick to discuss something else. Black America was a country that offered an invaluable lesson to many African countries in general. It was being around Black Americans that she actually understood what it meant to be Black ethnically versus racially, Black culturally versus just racially. And see, that's one of the big differences. See, it's something that she had to learn. This writer had to learn. Also, in Europe, I've heard that because everyone is first and second generation, everybody isn't everybody. Like, everybody isn't one. See, African Americans became one, okay, ethnic group, all right? Over in Europe, it seems as if, from what I've heard, everyone is not going to take on that. Everyone isn't going to be, okay, I'm the same ethnic group as you, because it's so brand new. And just like she said, everybody knows where their grandparent is in on the continent of Africa. So everybody comes from a different lineage and everybody knows that lineage like that, right? African Americans come from several lineages. Several. Okay? And when I say lineages, several all up and down Africa. Okay? And when we all got on that ship, all right, we became one people. There was no, I'm from here, I'm from here, I'm from here, I'm from here, I'm from here. We became one people. And that's a big difference. That makes a big difference in how it may be celebrated. Jamaica has a Black history. I'm sure that their celebration is different than over in the UK. Just when it comes to African Americans, we are a unit. We're an ethnic group. It's not broken down, broke down. All of these things contribute to why African Americans celebrate Black History Month as we do. It's one of the things we take pride in. It really means a lot to us. Our people who went through so much here in this land went through a lot. Now, it may take time for people who are just first and second generation to develop that in their various countries in Europe. But this is something that African Americans have had, and it didn't happen one generation. And this may be what is missing. I could be wrong, but I'm sure that's a part of it. But hopefully, as time goes on, Black Europeans, no matter where they live, will be able to celebrate in a bigger way and in their own way.
And Black History Month is already very special, but you know what would make this Black History Month extra special? Right.
You know you're the problem when not even the Africans, and I'm talking Africans from the motherland.
We don't care. We don't. But you want to know why the 92 and the 80 don't give a shit? Because see, those of us who've been here forever, that understood and went through and endured Jim Crow and civil rights, that they don't understand it is because of my generation and my parents that they have a civil right. They come to the United States of America and assimilate to whiteness. They become agents of whiteness and white supremacy. So again, baby, on behalf of the 92 and the 80 and those of us who march for civil rights so that they can exist in this country, we do not care. We don't. We don't.
Hey y'all, happy Black American History Month. And I decided to focus in on the word American because I noticed during Black History Month, a lot of companies and brands tend to highlight and give brand deals to first and second generation immigrants with the same skin tone. And I think that those brand deals and sponsorships should go to Black American people because we are descendants of the people that fought the civil rights movement. And if you know anything about the civil rights movement, it paved the way for everyone because Black Americans didn't just fight racism. We also fought the U.S. government to change policy, law, and culture. You're welcome, bitches.
Anyways, welcome back, guys. And you guys have literally seen all of the clip that I have for you guys. You know, a lot of people, we keep having these debates and we still want to fall under enjoying what Americans, Black Americans specific should be enjoying. And the most annoying part is them not giving credit because I see no reason why you made a comment. You said it by yourself that you are an African lady. You don't have any roots in America and you are not allowed to celebrate. Like, why do you need to celebrate? You can celebrate them. I don't have any issue with that. I celebrate them. I even posted it on my what they call it, on my post, on my community post here, and I didn't see anybody bashing me because I know my limits. But for the fact that you are going to be celebrating and making it look as if it is for all Black people, that is where the problem is coming from. Because a lot of Black people think that when they talk about Black History Month, it is relating to every single Black person. Black Americans are making it clear to make you understand that it is not relating to every single Black person. Black History Month is specifically for Black Americans to know, to celebrate themselves over what they have been through, over what they have seen, over what they have. Do you know, it's just a whole lot that comes with Black America. So I wonder why a lot of people are still not convinced and still want to be among those celebrating the Black History Month. Imagine what she said, oh, if I have said Happy Black History Month, I take my word back, and so on and so forth. But you are in America, because according to the video, she lives in America, right? But you are in America enjoying Americans' fruit of labor, Black Americans' fruit of labor. So will it be too bad that you are being corrected in your comment section, and then you are taking it as if maybe you did something very wrong, or you should not even? Some of these Black Americans, I will tell you for a fact, they really do not care. They don't care. They know the truth, and they will just stand by the truth. I just did my little research, and I'll just go ahead and read that. Sorry, guys. I just did my little research. I'll go ahead and read my little research. And it says Black History Month is primarily celebrated in the United States, and it is focused on the contributions and experience of Black Americans, in quotes, foundational Black Americans, who have inspired similar observance in their countries. Here is why the month is mostly closely associated with Black Americans only. 1. Historical roots in America. Black History Month originated in the US as a way of recognizing the significant yet often overlooked contribution of Black Americans throughout history. It began in 1926 as Negro History Week, choosing to coincide with the birthday of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. It was the idea of historian Carter G. Woodinson and the associate of the study of African Americans' life and history, who wanted to bring awareness to the accomplishments of Black Americans and address the lack of African American history in the educational curriculum. In 1976, the week was expanded to a full month to further highlight the importance of Black history, and President Gerald Ford officially recognized it during the U.S. bicentennial celebration. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that way. I'm sorry. English is not my first language. The U.S. contents of race and slavery. The unique history of slavery, segregation, and civil rights struggles in the U.S. shaped the way Black history is recommended. The legacy of systemic racism, the civil rights movement, and the ongoing fight for the racial equality makes it essential to create space for Black Americans to share their story, recognize their struggles, and celebrate their achievements. 3. Global influence. Why Black History Month started in the US, its influence has spread internationally. Other countries like Canada, UK, and Netherlands have adopted similar observation, often in October or other months. This celebration focused on their own Black community history and contributions. For example, Canada celebrates Black History Month in February, similar to the US, to honor the role of Black Canadians, especially the contribution of people like Viola Desmond and the legacy of the Underground Railroad. The UK celebrates in October and focused on the contribution of Africans and Caribbean community to British history. Ireland, which is Netherlands, and others countries have also recognized the importance of celebrating the achievements and stories of Black population. But in all contents, Black History Month is specifically for Black Americans. Now, let's talk about the cultural impact. The celebration has become part of American culture, with media, school, businesses, and other institutions getting involved in raising awareness about Black history. This has reinforced its strong ties to the US, even as other nations have adopted or adapted their own version of celebration. In fact, Black History Month is mostly closely associated with the US because of the specific historical contents of African Americans' experience there. However, it recognizes the foundational Black American achievement, history, and resonates beyond that. I hope we can close by this. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please do subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share. And yes, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be Simba, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.